Welcome, everybody, to the Teachers Off Duty podcast. I will be your host. I am Gabe Danenbring. Check me out on TikTok, G_unit24, or look up Gabe Danenbring on Instagram and on TikTok. To my right, I've got Mr. Tell Williams.
Hi, I'm Tell Williams, or Mr. Williams Pre-K on the social media. And with me today as my guest is my husband, Dr. Jason Van Vossen. Say hi.
Hi. You don't need to say doctor.
The doctor is in.
The PhD is in.
To my left, I've got Miss Lauran. You all know who she is. Introduce yourself.
Miss Lauran. I feel like you're one of the preschoolers talking to me. Miss Lauran. Hi, I'm Lauran Woolley, Mrs. Woolley in fifth on all social medias. And then to my left, I brought my husband today. This is Jordan Woolley, and you can find him at Jordan is Woolley on anything. And I think it's hilarious that I will tag him in things and send people to follow him for the hell of it because he posts nothing.
Yeah, I was going to say, just be prepared to be thoroughly
But
disappointed.
he's got 8,000 followers on TikTok in one video.
He's the anti-influencer.
He is the anti-influencer.
Nice. If you want to see the most anti-influencing content, go check him out.
Yeah, follow
Gorgeous
him.
stuff.
Perfect content right there.
Love it. So the reason why we have spouses here today is because we have a special spouse episode. I am not married, so my spouse obviously is not here, but we're going to be asking all kinds of different questions about what it's like to be married to a teacher, to be married to an influencer, and we're just going to dive into it. We're going to dive in,
Okay.
and it's going to be
I'm really
incredible.
excited and nervous at the same time for this.
Well, I think you should be. I think all of you should be. So
I feel like
first,
I'm about to get roasted.
I know.
so let's talk to the Woolies.
Oh.
All right, Jordan, what is it like to be married to a teacher?
I gotta say, it has its ups and downs a lot of the time. There's moments I love. One of the things I always I think great is Lauran's attention to detail. We're always at least planned out. We know what's happening, and I love that because I'm very type A personality, so it helps out a lot of the time. I'm so my life is pretty much planned out from now until my death. Even so, which is kind of sad to think about, but hey,
No surprises.
No surprises. So, but there's other things though. I remember when we were first dating, one of the things that drove me just insane was Lauran. She never really knew how to turn off her work mode when we were first dating, when she was a first teacher, which from my understanding from listening to this podcast and seeing all taking in teacher content through Lauran and everything is a very big problem with you guys.
Yeah.
But she has two stories that are kind of crazy. The one where I felt really bad when we were first dating. She graduated before me, so she was in her working career while I was still finishing out college. And I was just kind of hey, it's my senior year in college. I'm just hanging out and stuff like that, having fun. And she was working. And I remember she would go into her school 6:30. She would leave the house, be there at 7. And then she wouldn't get home for the first 3 months until close to 11:30 or midnight.
Oh,
Really?
my gosh.
She was working that much. And I remember
And she got compensated for those hours, right?
no, there's no overtime.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was
wasn't
bad.
a good move on my part. I burnt myself out real bad.
It was so fast and she was getting so sick. And I remember sitting down and was look, you need to stop.
And how did she take that when you said, hey, you need to slow down?
She did not take it well.
Were you getting more sleep as a college senior than she was as a teacher?
Absolutely. Yeah. And I was gonna say,
100%.
my lack of sleep, the thing that was sad is our lack of sleep was both by choice. I was just I'm just staying up to stay up. You were just I'm just going to work away my life apparently. But yeah, it was just.
Felt I had to though. You guys know how it feels to be like a first year teacher. You're building the ship as you're going.
Yeah.
So it's, if you're not getting things ready for the next day, especially in elementary school, it's hard to just roll into elementary school, not having the day planned out and activities ready and
Right.
Stuff. So yeah, I'd work very late.
Yeah. And I think that's something that teachers always struggle with is what is that balance, that work-life balance. So Jason, do you think that Tell has found out how to have that work-life balance yet, or is that still a work in progress?
I think he has, right? And I think part of that has been the kind of teaching pre-K helps with that a little bit because there's not a lot of grading on the weekends, but there are other things. Like there are sometimes we'll spend an entire weekend working on redesigning his classroom and building trees in our living room, right? And so it's a very different kind of thing. And I kind of get roped into some of that.
Yeah.
But then also I feel like now that he's, moved into substitute teaching, that's also been a really different thing where substitute teaching has a lot more life-work balance, right? Because you show up, it's not your class, you do the thing and come home. And I feel like that's been really great too, to have that kind of other perspective.
Now, you guys have such an interesting household where you're both educators.
Yeah.
Do you think that's a good thing, or is it difficult to leave work at work when you're both kind of in the same profession?
So when we first started dating, he was teaching high school English while he was getting his PhD. And so I feel like that I could see him leaving a little bit more at school. He's a college professor now, and I feel like that job is, we think of it as like, oh, they only teach 3 days a week. It's like he works like 16 hours a day, I would say. Like it's a lot.
You have a lot of students, right?
Yeah, it feels like it's almost kind of like reversed now, where like because also if you're only teaching 3 days a week, I work from home 2 days of those days of the week. And so, I'm always at work, right? Like it's not like I can leave my work in my classroom and then come home. I have my office at home, so I'm always at work essentially. And so like that also blurs that boundary.
Yeah.
So there's no balance right now.
Yeah.
We're trying. We have date night on Thursday nights.
At least you have a dedicated day for date night. I like that.
Yeah.
Jordan, you are a graphic design
Yeah, so
artist? How does that work?
So,
I know where you're going with this.
I was gonna say, so I have like a really,
About to crap
I was
all
gonna
over
say,
all my
I have
designs.
a hot take about this. So, I have my master's degree in user experience design, which is like focusing on like usability and that, and then my background is in advertising and PR and the graphic design, like you said. And there's things I love. Like I love seeing, like Lauran will show me like Instagram reels and like TikTok videos with like teachers and what they design and stuff like that. And there's things like I love seeing like the ingenuity people come up with, just the sheer creativity like teachers have. Like it is absolutely amazing and inspiring. However, that being said, there is a font out there that you don't have to use. It goes by Comic Sans. Delete it off your computers. For the love of God, please. Signed, a really mad graphic designer.
Why do you hate it so much? Well, what's your beef with Comic Sans?
So it's not that, from a usability point, it's just a very tough read compared to other fonts. Like there are fonts out there, because like when Comic Sans was originally designed, if I remember correctly, it's based off of like the curvature and everything, that it makes it more friendly and approachable. And there are other fonts out there in typefaces that do a lot better of a job than this font designed in the 90s. And it's ugly, it's old, it's played out and everything.
Yeah.
It's like,
Can you imagine, like, okay, you're in an office and someone keeps, jamming the copier and not fixing it before they leave, and then you put a piece of paper, like a note with Comic Sans as the font, just please stop jamming the copier. And like it reads as, please stop jamming the copier.
Right.
yeah, and it's stuff like that. And then there's like the one thing I always see too is like teachers love really bright colors. And I think this is like a thing, like it does drive me a little like nuts that I see this, and I feel like teachers do need to learn. There's in design, there's something called like, it's contrast ratio. So you pick certain colors, and then if you're using like the background against that color, like it has to hit a certain contrast ratio, or else it's not readable by most people. Yeah. And it like that's a very important thing I feel for educators to understand, because I see things where like teachers are like putting up like lessons on like PowerPoints, and they have a lime green background with a yellow typeface. I'm like, no one is reading it, please.
Or the hot pink, and it's like I can't read it at all.
So or like right now, like that boho style look with like all the very pastel colors all together that are so light.
So do you ever look at her lessons and say, hey, Lauran, you need to change this? Like, do you ever just critique it and like tell her like, this needs to change, this is not working?
Let me say, I'm going to defend myself first, okay? Let me say, I do follow, okay, you taught me the rule, you don't use more than 2 fonts or 3 fonts?
You don't use more than 2 typefaces.
That's what I. Okay.
Yeah.
What's a typeface? I have no idea what that
it's
means.
like-
Sorry, I kind of using them interchangeably, but there is a difference between a font and a typeface. So a typeface is like the specific, like Times New Roman is a typeface, and then the font is Times New Roman bold, Times New Roman bold.
Okay,
So there is a difference. Yeah.
It's like an
okay, so
umbrella.
typeface.
Yeah,
You don't
absolutely.
use more than 2 typefaces. So like when I'm making documents and stuff, I think of that in my head. I'm like, okay, Jordan would be mad at me if I used Arial with Comforata or
All
like or
teachers
whatever.
need a
Like,
Jordan.
Yeah.
right. So, but I do use like a font that is readable, but it's like in my mind, it's still cute. So like, I don't know. Cause like, okay, I was just saying this the other day. We were looking through, cause I use a lot of my brother's, my brother's a science teacher. So
Yeah.
I use a lot of his lessons cause this is like only my 2nd year teaching 5th grade science. So I'm like, still in that build the boat phase. And I, was using one of the documents he had for a lab. And I'm like, you can tell that a man made this document because it was just basic Times New Roman, nothing else on the document, just the information the kids need, and that's it. I'm like, I'm gonna cute this up a little bit. I'm like, let me put some stars on here because it's
Some
a
Comic
stars
Sans.
lab. Yeah.
And then I come home and I throw away the computer.
So, Jason, question for you. Obviously, life is a little bit different for influencers. How has your life been different before Tell was an influencer to now?
Ooh. So first off, there's a lot more noise in our apartment. And truly, right? Like, again, I work from home a couple times a week. And so with him being at home and recording TikToks, hearing the same thing, like there are sometimes I'm like literally pounding on the wall, like, can you not just say the word correctly? Because he keeps-
Microbial. I knew exactly what word you were talking about.
But like he does it so many times that like it just gets so like in my mind. And so first off, I will say noise canceling earphones have truly saved our marriage. So that's for sure a big part of it. The other part is just like, in terms of that's social media, but being an influencer, like we'll go out for date night and people will recognize him and he's much more extroverted. I'm much more introverted. And so he's obviously super generous, super nice, meets these people. And I like Homer Simpson meme into the bushes. And so like we'll be like in a clothing store and you'll just like see me like slowly fade into the clothing rack. Because like that's been hard for me. I think less hard for you to adjust to, but harder for me to adjust to is like people like just randomly coming up or like people like be staring at us. I'm like, what are these people's problem? And he's like, they know me from social media. And I'm like, oh, of course.
Can you not always feel it? Like when you can tell when somebody recognizes you because like you'll feel the stare. You know what I mean? And it's not a negative thing. I'm just
Right.
like, it's just like a sixth sense you've like developed. You're like, okay, I think these people know me or something like that.
I think I developed it when I first started teaching and would see people out in public and look at me and then try to figure out, they come up to me like, are you
Yeah.
Mr. Williams? Or I think you're my child's teacher, or I think this, and this. So I
Yeah.
started like getting that look when people were like, it's a different kind of like eye-opening kind of like twist of the head. So now it's like we'll be out in public and be having a conversation. I'll be like end the conversation right now. And then someone will come up and be like, hi.
I know. I get that feeling.
Yeah.
So, Jordan, what do you think is the most challenging thing when it comes to being a spouse of a teacher?
So I might get a little deep here about
Go
this.
for it.
'Cause,
Dive in.
one of the things like
I'm
me and
I'm
Lauran are
scared.
very like open with on our channel is we talk a lot about my health and the both of ours mental health because we feel like, public figures, like they should really start to be open with this.
Yeah.
And I think this is an important topic, especially like anybody who either starts dating an influencer or is married to an influencer and really needs to understand is like there is a lot of criticism and how you like have to handle that. And what do you do when you do something with your spouse and the ire gets pointed to you, which is a very like tough thing to face?
Yeah.
Because recently we had an experience. Everybody knows Eddie Munson from season 4 of Stranger Things. He's one of like, for me personally, like I love that character. And we decided way back when season 4 came out, it's like, oh, when Christmas, when Halloween comes around, it's
Weird Christmas
for
at the
us.
Woolies.
Yeah, it's Christmas for us. But when Halloween comes around, like we really want to do Eddie Munson and Chrissy. Like we love the characters and we thought like it'd be really fun, especially with Teddy, and we dressed him up as a little Demogorgon. So adorable. But we did the photos and everything, and Lauran had filmed some TikToks and Reels for it, and she started posting them, and they did really well on YouTube Shorts and Instagram Reels. However, TikTok apparently, like the Eddie Munson thing was just over and they hated it. And
Yeah, there were a few people on TikTok that like would comment things. And like for me, and I know this is kind of getting off topic from the question, but anyway, for me, like getting comments here and there, like you kind of just kind of shrug them off and you're like, okay, whatever. Like they didn't like it, that's okay.
Yeah, and I was going to
And
say,
when it gets pointed more at like at Jordan, that's where it's like a problem for me.
Yeah.
So like that bothered me.
yeah, I was going to say, and it was hard for me too. Like this was like one of the first times I've ever experienced like that full on brunt of it, where like, one thing I work with my therapist a lot is I have like really bad like social anxieties.
Yeah.
And so when I'm out in public, my way of coping with it is being like trying to be extroverted. Like I'm not having a problem at all.
I love people.
Yeah. But when I'm at home with Lauran, I shut down. And I remember seeing the comments coming through and they're like, oh, that's like B-rate Eddie Munson, or look at that Eddie Munson. That's not my Eddie Munson and everything.
Eddie Munson.
And I was just like, it was like daggers coming at me. And I remember shutting down and Lauren's just like, I think I'm going to pull down the video. And my response was like, no, keep the video up and everything.
Right, but
and
I
it was
could
just
tell
like,
it was bothering you.
yeah, it was just one of those things. Like that was like one of the first like times like I really had to experience like the magnifying glass being on me. And like, and it's hard too being the spouse because like, Lauran has her platform and I do like my best to support her and everything, but it's kind of like getting to that point where you're starting to get roped in and you need to understand like you're a part of the ride too, as much as I just want to be in the background.
And I mean, that goes for teaching as well, though. I feel like teaching, like when you're married to a teacher or even dating a teacher or whatever, like you get roped into it as well. Like how many times have I brought home, do you remember like last year when I was putting all my math stuff away? And like I brought home that box of 2,000 Omnifix cubes.
Yep.
And we had to sit there on a Friday night and click all 2,000 of these cubes together to put them in my classroom. And then like I always drag you in to decorate for parties. And like I always drag you in to like be a part of events and stuff.
Like the one skill I have truly developed being married to you is how to properly use scissors. Like my ability now to cut a straight line with a scissor is just amazing. Like I'll be at work and I'll have to cut things out. And I was like, how do you get it so straight? It's like, you have no idea how many times I have cut things out at this point.
Well, because that was the one thing, like when we first started, like when I first started my career and we were like engaged, I'd bring home like laminated things and stuff. You know, when you're married to a teacher, you've probably cut out laminated items at some point. And I would cut them out, and I'm very particular about them. Like I don't want any little like crooked edges. I don't want that. And like Jordan would cut them out, and like they would be fine. But for me, I'd be like, that's good. And then I'd bring them and I'd like fix the edges and stuff. So like he knows now like how I like things to be because I'm real type A. And so like he's kind of like absorbed some of those character traits from my teaching.
I love that. So now what I'm going to do for both couples, we're going to challenge all of you in this room. We're going to play a game. You've all heard of Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader? But we're going to play Are You Smarter Than Your Spouse's Students? So,
Oh no.
Jordan, you're going to get questions that are at the fifth grade level that Lauran is teaching. And Tell, you are going to be getting questions at the college level that Jason is currently teaching to his students. And you're going to have to answer them. And if you get them wrong, the entire world is going to know that you are not smarter than your spouse's students.
I'm definitely not.
I think I'm more scared for Tell.
Yes, very much so.
I haven't used that part of my noodle in a while.
Let's first go to Tell now that he's on the hot seat. So this was these questions were all sent to me before the podcast. So Tell, here's your question from your husband. According to American Library Association, which picture book about penguins was the most challenged picture book in the last decade?
I know this one, I think. I can picture it in my head.
I can see I can see the cover.
Yeah, I just don't know
The title's on the cover, so
I
you can
know.
see it.
So you're not seeing it very well then.
Oh my God, it is?
Is it like two penguins and an egg or something like that? Am I close?
That's the plot.
I know, but I can't remember the name.
I was gonna say I know the plot.
Okay, give me the name.
You want to tell him?
Yeah, it's in Tango Mix 3.
That's right. And I had that book in class.
I know, that's a cute
On
book.
the tip of your tongue.
I
right,
know.
Sure. Okay, next question.
I'm excited that I knew
boy.
that.
I'm very
Maybe not the title, but I knew the gist.
All right.
Let's go. I got this.
What three parts make up an introduction?
I don't got this.
Lauren, you want to tell?
Hold on. I'm going to give it a shot.
Give it the old college try.
Or fifth grade try?
What three
Give it
parts
the fifth grade try.
make up an introduction?
Introduction, yes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go with a statement.
No.
Oh, we're done. Like, is this like an introduction paragraph?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I don't know the names of this stuff. Like,
You give up.
yeah, I'm giving up.
It's a hook,
Oh,
transition, thesis.
look at that.
Wow, you were so close.
were very close.
Absolutely.
Okay, next, here we go. Back to tell. So,
All right.
these are so challenging. What are the three main relationships between words and pictures in picture books?
I'm going to pray for you.
Is imagery one?
No.
He so kindly said.
Is emotion one? No. Is Comic Sans one?
No.
Okay, what are the three?
So this is the way that an image and a picture interrelate.
Okay.
They could be symmetrical. They could
Okay.
be complementary.
Okay.
Or they can be contradictory.
Oh, I just learned something new today.
Yeah.
I probably learned that at some point, but I don't remember that.
I did.
I'm so glad I'm not getting asked
Because
these
I
questions.
100% took a children's literature class in college. It's been like 7 years though. So
So, Jordan, next question is for you.
Oh,
this is
geez.
a math question. Now, remember,
Okay.
fifth graders can do this. 9 years, right? They're 9 years old. How old are fifth graders?
10 and 11.
10 and 11-year-olds can solve this. And you are a fully adult human being. So just remember that if you get this wrong. Here's the question. 3 1/8 plus 2 2/4 plus 2 3/12.
I
There
have
you
to
go.
Answer the question.
You wouldn't know the fun thing about this. I'm going to get this wrong. I'm just going off the bat. This is going to be wrong. When I was in college, I got bored and took a calculus class for fun.
funsies.
And
We have
be
different
I
ideas
was-
of fun.
Look at Vic. He's like, nah.
and then you want to know the crazy part? I was the curve breaker. I ruined people
He's
in
a
that class.
math freak. Like he's so good at it. And
This
that's
is
why I was
fifth
like,
grade math and you're challenged right now. I hope you know that.
challenged by this because I can't remember. So with the 1/8 in that, I can't remember. Does this do like the radical or is it that it's divided by 8?
you're thinking too much into this, bro.
Oh,
It's 3
Think
and
like a
1/8.
12-year-old.
It's a
I'm
fraction.
thinking these are powers.
No, it's a fraction.
Oh
Do
my
you think fifth graders are doing fractional exponents? No, thank you.
Yes,
Probably.
I did. And I was kind of concerned.
Oh no.
3 1/8. Okay,
If that
so
became Common Core, I think I'd have to quit because I would not be able to teach that.
That would be very challenging.
Listen, while he's figuring that out, I got a real quick fun story. So when I taught second grade a long time ago, I had an extremely gifted student, and she tested at 8th grade level algebra in second grade. I'm like not even like lying to you right now. So I literally had to reteach myself like pre-algebra so I could like independently teach this poor girl how to solve like expressions and equations and stuff. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, I hope I'm doing this right. And I was like a second year teacher.
Was her name Matilda?
No, actually, it was Miss Honey, but no. But I was like, holy crap! I'm like, I didn't think I would have to teach 8th grade in second grade. I'm like,
Hey, curve breaker, how you doing over there, bro?
I'm getting there.
You're getting it figured
Oh,
out.
that's-
Okay.
getting
Thank
there.
you for showing your work. Extra points for doing that.
oh, okay. He solved it in a different way. I didn't think he would solve it. He's using
Comic Sans.
he's using some improper fractions here.
And then
All right. While he's doing that, why don't you ask them
Yes.
their question?
You know what? I'm gonna change this up. Okay. I want to give Tell a softball question.
Okay.
I want to give him a softball question. This is a 5th grade question. Because those other ones were challenging.
Okay, I get a 5th grade one.
This is a 5th grade
Okay.
question. How far is the Earth from the sun?
I don't. Is it miles or in feet?
Kilometers.
Oh,
Believe it or
okay,
not,
listen.
inches. We're actually doing this one in inches.
Oh my gosh. I don't know how big a kilometer is. How many kilometers are in a mile?
Wait, what did
Okay, I
you
don't know
say?
why I'm asking that. Like I know how many miles
How
are in
many
the sun.
kilometers or how many kilometers is the Earth from the sun?
Oh, that was my question.
I know.
know.
I want to give him a softball because I don't want
That's
him
a science
I
question.
can't
Yeah.
have science. I'm gonna say
Oh, here. I'll give you options. Okay.
Okay,
Is
give
it
me options.
option A, 150 million kilometers? Option B, 300,000 kilometers? Or is it option
C.
C? I lost track there. Or is it option C, 45 feet?
A.
Correct. 150 million kilometers.
It is.
Really
You
smart.
are smarter than a fifth grader. Congratulations.
Thanks.
Congratulations.
I mean, I needed multiple choice,
All right,
but
time is ticking over here.
I'm moving as fast as I can.
You're making this so much harder.
Lauren, how long should this take him? Because we're currently going on about what, minute 3 or 4 of
Yeah, it
solving
shouldn't take this long.
Okay, hold on.
I mean,
You are making me anxious here. I'm trying to think. I'm doing my best. Hold on.
are these like are these like the Mad Minute questions that they have now? Did you guys ever do Mad
no.
Minutes?
What is Mad Minutes?
Did you do Mad Minutes?
No.
What is
Did you?
that?
I don't.
Okay, is this like a time test thing?
Where it's like all like they have like 30 equations on the paper. and
Okay,
you
we
have to,
called
like-
them time tests.
Oh, I think
So
it's
like
Mad
we would have
Minutes.
like that makes me even more anxious.
Yeah.
Time test made me
Jordan's
anxious.
erasing. He made a mistake.
No, I didn't. I was just clearing some work.
He needed more space.
I don't know what in the what he's doing over there.
I think-
Anyway, but we would do like math facts, like the 8 times 7, 6 times 17,
Yeah.
or what. I don't know. I'm making up random ones.
I need to show my.
You ready to show your answer?
Yes, I have 189 over 24.
Make that a mixed number.
I'm not doing that. I've already done enough
So
work.
the answer that I got sent to me,
Yes.
we are looking for 7 and 11 twelfths.
Is that 7, 11, 12?
I would have to simplify that. I don't know.
How do you do I just divide it? How
Yeah.
do I do that? I got my calculator right here.
Okay,
hold up,
dude.
hold up. 189
189
divided by 24.
But it's gonna give you a decimal, so I don't know.
7.87.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna give you a fraction.
No, but that's right.
but
That's right.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right. Wow. You can solve 11-year-old math.
I'm
Way
still
to
good
go.
at math.
I am so
Good
proud
job.
of you. We
You
are
did
all
that way harder than it
so
needed to
happy.
be. Let me show you something real quick. Okay, so for those of you sitting on listening on Spotify or wherever you're listening to podcasts, you don't have to do anything with these whole numbers. All you have to do is look at your denominators and make them common. So like you did that at the bottom here. We could use 24 as a common denominator. So I would turn this into like 3 and 4 24ths plus 2 and 12 24ths plus what was it? 2 and 6 24ths, and then add them all together to get that 7 and
That's so much easier.
And I was going to say, there was a time, like, I remember learning this in school,
I don't.
but, you know, my teachers were always like, you're never going to have a calculator. What are you going to do? What was that you used?
Yeah.
right.
Gabe?
I know.
yeah. So many schools act like calculators
All right, so
don't exist.
that was your challenge,
Yeah,
brain
okay,
brain
now-
challenge of the day.
Now that we are all, our brains are hurting from watching that math
say, I
problem,
am kinda
we're
like-
going to ask some couples questions.
Ooh,
Okay?
I'm
We're
excited.
going to play a game. So all of you have a whiteboard underneath your chair. Go ahead and take those out. I'm going full teacher mode right now.
Okay, I'm erasing all of his math.
All right. So I'm going to ask a question to the couples. All right.
Okay.
You are going to turn from the couple and where's my whiteboard?
Are gonna you don't have one.
You don't got.
That's that one?
That's
Okay.
fine.
Why do you need one?
So I thought I still had mine. I was going to
Oh.
move it over there.
Oh.
So I'm going to ask each couple a question, and you are going to write down the answer, and the spouse is going to confirm the answer or going to yell at your spouse for getting it wrong. And it's going to be
Yelling
extremely
them.
awkward for everybody in the room.
Okay.
So question number 1. What is your partner's biggest fear? Woolies, go first.
All right.
What do you got?
Well, you have to say your answer, and then I have to see if I was right.
My answer. Oh, my God.
Yeah. So, what is your biggest fear?
Getting sick.
Not.
Oh.
Yeah.
Count it.
Okay, on my whiteboard, I wrote down getting cancer because that Jordan has ulcerative colitis, so colon cancer is prevalent in people who have that. So that's his ultimate fear.
All right. What do you guys get over here?
Wait, so this is my biggest fear, correct?
Yes, your biggest fear.
Snakes.
Bam.
Woo!
Yeah.
You know what scares me? Snakes on a plane. Great movie. All right. Hand your whiteboard to your spouse.
Okay, I like this. I already got a point. I'm excited.
We're rocking and rolling.
You're
All right.
okay.
What is the number one way that your spouse wastes money? Or what is Tell's number one way of wasting money?
I want to say on clothes.
I mean, to be fair, kind of. Amazon.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's where I get out my clothes.
Love it.
Okay.
All right, Lauren.
I'm gonna say I spend a lot of money on my classroom.
Ooh.
TJ
TJ Maxx.
Which, okay, I did get a bunch of like cute rainbow stuff from TJ Maxx
Ooh.
for the classroom.
That's good. All right, now we're gonna make you guys really think here.
Okay.
Switch boards.
Okay. Okay.
What was the worst date your spouse took you on? What was the worst date?
I got this one. Oh wait, I can't spell.
Jordan, do you know?
I
You
think
already
I
know what yours was?
I absolutely do.
You've got it down.
Yes.
You know it.
Okay.
Okay,
All right,
I'm good.
let's go Woolies first.
Okay, so I think it was our second anniversary as a couple dating.
Because we used to go back and forth like on whose job it was to plan the anniversary.
So for our second one, there is an area in a city nearby to us, Columbus. There's a town called German Village, and I was under the impression that it was like a shopping district. It was just a residential area, and there was nothing to do.
So we drove 2.5 hours to a neighborhood.
Oh no! Nice.
That's fine.
I
Got
wrote
it.
German Village.
Got it. All right, what do we get over here, Jason?
So this is going to sound so awful. All of them. All of like every time we try to go on a date, our first date was awful. Every anniversary, every time we've tried to like go out, it's been absolutely terrible.
Really?
Yep.
The first
First
date.
date. Oh!
It started out like we started out not having good dates, but now we'll try to do really cute, like plan super nice, sweet dates, and something always goes wrong. So now we just go there and like literally just like waiting for something to happen, and when it does, we just are able to laugh at it. Because at first it was really upsetting, and now it's since expected. It's just really
It's
funny.
like our thing now.
Now it's
like
a thing.
we just know this is going to be a bad time, but we're going to embrace that.
Yeah.
I love that. All right, switchboards.
Okay.
Here's the question. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate your spouse's first meal that they cooked for you?
Hell, why are we the
so
same
curious
person?
to see what this is.
You said a scale of 1 to 10.
Scale of 1 to 10.
So wait, am I
So
rating
think-
something that
think-
I have cooked?
Yes.
Okay.
Your first meal that you
I
cooked for Jordan. What would you rate that 1 through 10?
Okay,
And Jordan,
my-
how would you rate that 1 through 10? Do you guys have yours? You guys ready over here? All right. So first of all, what was the first meal that you cooked?
So I don't know what exactly it was, but the first meal I cooked had bacon in it, and I don't like crispy bacon. I like it to be a little floppy, and so I cooked us floppy bacon and gave us incredibly bad hospitalization food poisoning.
Oh my God.
So I would say like
no.
if it's 0's the worst or whatever and 10's good, I like 0 or negative numbers.
Oh no.
Correct.
We'll take that. So how far
Negative
into
10.
the relationship was it when you gave him food poisoning?
Like
a year? Oh, good. That was like a third date type of thing. That'd kind of be like a deal ender for
No,
me.
Yeah,
we
we
were
might not be here
I'd be like,
today.
food poisoning is like, no mas. No mas. All right, Lauren, what
Ouch.
did you make for Jordan?
All right, so I made. Let me just preface with before we were married, I couldn't cook. Like, couldn't follow a recipe. I would overthink things and mess it up. So I tried to make this like Pinterest recipe that I found called rosemary chicken, and it like in the picture it came out like looking golden brown and delicious, and like with the sauce on top. And what I cooked was gray. So, I'm gonna rate that like a 1.
You know,
You can't be careful what you say here because you might be in the doghouse.
I was gonna say, my problem is she knows exactly. She got the meal absolutely correct. In that thing, I'm a big fan of the Pittsburgh Penguins, and the hockey pucks they use were tender. Were more tender than that chicken.
Boom roasted.
But I'm disappointed
I'm much
because
better at cooking now.
I'm disappointed because if you watch like our YouTubes, you know I have a very obscure rating system.
Oh my God, yes, he does.
Negative 100 burnt chicken nuggets.
Oh my God.
That's brutal.
Yeah,
That's brutal. All right,
yeah.
last question.
Okay. I
Last
would
question.
agree.
Okay, swap boards.
Yeah. Raise your burnt chicken nuggets.
If your spouse could choose any person to play them in a movie, who would they choose? Does that make sense?
Wait, I'm choosing who would play him.
Yeah. So who would Jason choose to play him in a movie?
Because he'd want them to be, or because they look like him.
Because
I'm gonna pick because he wanted it.
he wants it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah.
I don't think I know the answer to this.
You know, I never thought about this?
No,
I know the
haven't.
answer to this, 100%.
You got it down?
Yes, I do.
Jordan, do you even know what your answer is to this?
I'm gonna go with Paul Rudd.
Going Paul Rudd? What'd you write down?
I wrote down Nick Offerman.
Oh, that is a good one.
Because, like, he's all antisocial, and you are.
I'm gonna go with Lauren's answer.
Going with that one? Nice. Good decision. All right. Who are we going with over here, Tel?
Okay, so I don't know that, but I just did who I think would look like him, and people like, wow, that casting was amazing. They look identical, and so I picked this one.
Blippi! He does look like Blippi.
Who are you picking, Jason?
I was going to say Amy Sedaris.
Oh my gosh, that's true.
Oh, okay.
Amy Sedaris as like Strangers with Candy style kind of thing.
Love it. All right, guys. Well, that is a wrap on the couples episode. Remember, all of you listeners right now, if you're a spouse to a teacher, please be extra kind to your spouse. We are entering the danger zone of the year where they're going to be very crabby. It is the dark days. It is winter. It is going to be sad and dreary. Please be kind to your spouses if they are teachers.
For everyone else, it's the most wonderful time of the year. And for teachers, it's the most
dreadful
horrifying time of
Yes,
the year.
It is. It's
Yes,
miserable.
it
All right.
is.
Well, thank you guys. This was awesome.
This was so fun.
Fantastic.
Yes. Make sure that you guys go and follow our husbands online just for funsies.
Yeah, and Jordan is the anti-influencer, so it'll be fantastic.
I love it.
All right, thanks for tuning in, everybody. We'll see you later.
Bye.
Bye.